What is good, y'all? Welcome back to Chris and Ralph Productions. As always, I am Chris.
And Ralph,
And today, what do we have for the people, Ralph?
a spoiler review of Superman
Yes.
2025.
Yes, sir. So, Superman, it came out Thursday. We saw it Thursday, and now today is Tuesday.
Yeah.
Why have we waited so long into doing our spoiler review?
Well, well, we were busy within the last few
We're
days.
busy during the weekend, and plus, I really wanted to re-watch it. That
Yeah.
is the main reason because, spoiler alert, my score went up a little after the second viewing. So, some context, we're going to go through our favorite characters, favorite scenes, what we thought of the plot, what we think this does for the overall DCU going forward, and plus we might have some figures. All right, so Ralph, you want to go ahead and get us started, or you want me to go ahead and get us started?
So I'm gonna
Go
get
ahead,
started
go
in my
ahead,
part.
go
So
ahead.
this is like the first like DCU like to start off of the universe.
The theatrically and
Yeah.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah. And I guess if that's better for my part, you could go ahead and do your pun.
Okay. So to go off of that,
Yeah.
what he mentioned, so this movie had two jobs. One, it had to be a Superman movie, and
Yep.
two, it had to set up sort of it's the foundation block for DC Universe, DC Studios, and the theatrical what we're gonna get going forward. So uh I'll go into the positives first, and I do have some negatives. Some of them have went away since watching the first time and rewatching the second time. But I guess I'll go ahead and get us into it. So I think when it comes to it being a building block for DC Studios, for DCU, in terms of tone, aesthetic, the way Superman was portrayed, I think this was an absolute banger of a movie because I loved the campiness. I loved the comic bookiness. I loved that at times it reflected the animated series, the Superman animated series, different iterations, as well as the Justice League Unlimited because of the amount of characters that we had in this movie.
Yep.
Um, how did you feel about it being the building block for DC and all the characters it introduced and sort of the background of DC in general?
Okay, so for me to like first of all, I absolutely love everything like feel like comic book key feel,
Yeah, comic booky feel. Yeah,
and yeah, and even like of course it's kind of feel like watching like a live action version of that Superman animated series from
the 90s.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, but it kind of felt like watching like a live action episode of it.
it does. Yeah,
Yeah, and absolutely like love about it because they show us like to show off like it's like different than other comic books film that we got over the years.
yeah, and I think and I agree with you.
Yeah,
It is very much a DC movie.
yeah,
Because when you compare it to other comic book films, pseudo Marvel Studios, Marvel is the more grounded take on superheroes. Even with the fantastical elements that are in that's in that universe is still grounded to a degree. DC and James Gunn, they're very much telling you this is us entering the world of DC. We're
yeah,
not entering the world of sort of like a Dark Knight or like a Man of Steel or like a Joker 2019, where it's superhero portrayal, but it's in a realistic take. This is very much a comic book, and I think it's perfect for those reasons.
yep,
Um, before, like I said, I do have negatives. Actually, I want to go through all our positives, and I get to my negatives at the end. I know next up right here, you wanted to get into. Oh, actually, before we get into the Justice
yeah,
League, let's get into Superman himself. You want to
yeah.
go ahead and pull him out?
So we got here is of course the one and only Superman, and for me though, I thought the casting is great.
David Corenswet was absolutely amazing as this character. Yeah,
Yeah, so of course at the time like did not know anything about David Cosmo until seeing this movie.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean he has range for either for Clark Kent or Superman.
exactly. Like what we were talking about earlier. Like spoilers, he cries in different
Yeah,
moments. He cries when he sees the food vendor get shot in front of him because of Lex Luthor. he gets emotional whenever he sees Lois. He got upset whenever Lois was interviewing him, but she wasn't letting up on him. David Corenswet was an absolute amazing take for Superman. And I loved, like I mentioned, there was moments that I grinned because it felt like I was watching the live action portrayal of My Adventures with, excuse me, well, My Adventures with Superman as well, but
Yeah.
the live action portrayal of the Justice League Unlimited Superman. There was one particular line that he had where Lex took Crypto from the Fortress of Solitude, and Lois Lane is talking to Clark or Superman because he's in Superman costume, his suit, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go turn myself in. Maybe it'll lead me to the dog." And Lois Lane is like, "It's just a dog." And Superman responds, "Yeah, he's not even a good dog. He's not, but he's by himself and he's afraid. So I'm gonna go find him." When he said that, I was like, I felt like that line was delivered from the animated series, and it was just so good. Um, what did you think about Lois Lane? Now, like I mentioned her, you can
Yeah.
put it down if you want to.
Yeah. So the actress plays Lois Lane. She did great in
Hmm.
like good casting as well.
Yeah. Uh, I do. I will say I wish she had
Yeah.
she did enough in this movie, but I do wish we had more of her and Superman together because of the scenes that they were together were some of the best scenes in the movie.
Yeah.
But of course, she had to go do her own thing where she was doing her own journalism with her and Jimmy Olsen, ladies' man Jimmy Olsen. Uh, what did you think of Lois Lane? You liked her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Rachel Brosnahan, perfect casting. So let's go ahead and get into the Justice Gang because the Justice Gang are a massive part of this movie. So you grab her, I'll grab him. We got Hawk Girl and Mr. Terrific, and Guy Gardner is on the way.
Yeah.
We found all these in person.
Yeah.
We like to go hunt for our figures in person,
Yeah.
but we couldn't find Guy Gardner. Guy Gardner sold out everywhere. So we got Mr. Terrific.
Yeah.
I love the jacket, and we have Hawk Girl
Hugger.
right there.
And one unfortunate about the figure though is it does not have the melon.
It Having a Hawk Girl figure without a mallet is like having uh a Batman figure without him having depression. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it just goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
Um, but let's talk about these two characters.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Got
Guy
yeah.
Gardner, of course, because we don't have him physically with us, but he's in this in spirit. Guy Gardner's with us.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Just to be honest, Mr. Terrific was my favorite character in the movie.
Yeah.
Superman as well, of course, because it's a Superman movie. But Mr. Terrific was just, shall I say, terrific.
Terrific.
Uh, Eddie Gathegi, he got done dirty with First Class back in X-Men with like 2011. But for him to finally be able to, he's a great actor. He's been working for years. But for him to be in another blockbuster movie and steal the show for me personally, and for a lot of people that I've talked to in terms of friends and stuff, he was a standout. What did you think of like Guy Gardner and Hawk Girl and the Justice Gang in general?
Okay, so Mr. Terrific though, since I was not familiar with the character,
Yeah,
but after seeing the movie, yep, this one actor sequence that was badass to see.
on the beach.
Yeah.
Yes, where they're tracking down Superman
Yeah.
because he got taken by Lex,
Yeah.
and he had an action scene on the beach, very reminiscent of like Yondu with his whistle and the arrow.
Yep.
It kind of felt like one of those scenes from Guardians. And then what about like Guy Gardner, amazing.
Yeah.
Hawk Girl, I think to me did the least amongst the three, but of course it's not a Hawk Girl movie. What did you think of the rest of the Justice Gang?
Okay, so for Guy Gardner though, it is great for us to get a live action Green Lantern
Mhm.
again
Yeah,
since 2011.
we don't talk about 2011, Ralph. We don't talk about that one.
So yeah, when it comes to like with the movie side, it's great to see a Green Lantern again.
Yeah, and to see Green Lantern powers
Yeah,
on the big screen
y-
felt so good.
yeah, especially with those like modern like CG.
The CG effects, great.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
and for Hunker though, so I was familiar with the character from the animated series Justice League
Hmm.
Unlimited,
Yeah,
and it is great to see the character like in like movie form.
yeah. Live action and everything. Yeah.
Yeah,
For Hawkgirl, like I mentioned, I feel like of the three, she has the least amount of screen time, I think, and or maybe she has the least amount of lines. I didn't fall in love with her character. Isabella Merced, great actress.
Yeah,
But I do hope when we do see, because they're gonna be in Peacemaker, as we saw in
yeah.
the trailer for Peacemaker. I do hope going forward they add more to her character. Or my honestly dream scenario is for her and John Stewart, Green Lantern, to be in a relationship, or to because that's they're in a relationship,
Yeah,
and I want to see that portrayed on the big
yeah,
screen.
yeah. And I do remember seeing the Christmas episode on Justice League Unlimited.
Exactly. Justice League Unlimited Christmas episode where Hawkgirl and John Stewart, they don't really celebrate Christmas, or not that they don't celebrate, but they don't really have it to celebrate with anybody. So they go on their own as a date, and they go to different worlds, and they just have bar fights because that's how they celebrate and stuff. And um, I want to see that dynamic going forward. Hopefully, in Lanterns, maybe she pops up in Lanterns. I don't think we'll see John Stewart and Peacemaker, but we shall see. Next, we wanted to get into sets. So some of the
Yeah,
major sets is the Daily Planet, the Fortress of Solitude, the Pocket Universe, and Metropolis. Those are the four major sets. Obviously, they all take place within Metropolis, but
yeah.
the city as a whole. Um, you go ahead and
So
take
for
us.
yeah, for Metropolis is and the Daily Planet, like again, it's feel like it's just like straight ripped up on the comics.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it is great for us to see the Daily Planet planet.
the actual planet on top of the Daily Planet.
Yeah,
Yeah, me too, dude. I love that.
yeah. Since Superman returned.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen that one.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then the Fortress of Solitude, great set.
yeah,
Um, it I will say my favorite Fortress of Solitude is still Superman, the original one. I thought that one felt like he was just made out of glass. I thought it was pretty cool. But this one was great as well. I love the Superman robots. You want to get the one? I'll pull it up.
yeah. It's not
It's
complete
not
yet.
complete, but we're working on the Superman
Yeah,
robot. He kind of messed up it there. But just like in the movie, this is probably screen accurate, Ruffy.
yeah,
This is screen accurate
yeah,
Superman robot. Voiced by Alan Tudyk, number four, right? It's number four.
yeah,
Yeah. Uh, and then Metropolis, of course, like Ralph mentioned. Right, I think but like it just was vibrant,
yeah,
sunny, beautiful. The costume design for the citizens, great. We knew that's what they were going for, a retro futuristic type of look when it comes to aesthetic and stuff. And there was a lot of Easter eggs. I wanted to get into that earlier, but I was like, it's a little too early. Um, we saw a Gotham City street sign.
yeah,
We saw a Queen City street sign, which is Batman, Gotham City, Queen City, Green Arrow. We saw the name of the cookies that Martian Manhunter loves. I forget the name of it. The Oreos. We
yeah,
saw the Oreo advertisement. We saw Big Belly Burger, which has been in a lot of DC projects, including Blue Beetle. What else did we see? In the Hall of Justice, in the background, we saw a JSA portrait.
yeah.
Most notably, we saw Wildcat. And let's go ahead and get into that
So
about the DCU being lived in already, because the movie starts off with 300 years ago or 3 centuries ago. Yeah, 3 centuries ago,
yeah,
the first metahuman emerged. 30 years ago, Superman landed. 3 weeks ago, he stopped a war, or 3 days ago, something like that. You know what I mean?
yeah,
How do you feel about all of the cameo stuff or like the Easter egg stuff
yeah, yeah. Like when we do it, like it is great for them to start like this and say like have to create a whole new origin.
for Superman
Yeah,
or for the DC in general?
like for like DC.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, because like for me though, it's kind of like jumping into like another like Justice League series or another.
Yes, dude. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what it felt like. Yeah.
it's again though, it's kind of like like you begin to watch a new Justice League series like a new like continuity reboot.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's
Yeah,
exactly what it felt like. Thank you, Ralph. I didn't know how to express it, but you did it so well right there. Um, and like I mentioned, the cameos. Well, I haven't mentioned cameos, but I mentioned Easter eggs. And you
yeah,
want to go ahead and get into one of the best cameos of the movie, and that is
Peacemaker.
yes, Christopher Smith pops up. He's doing an interview and he's talking crap about Superman. Christopher Smith's Peacemaker, John
Yeah.
Cena, 18-time World Heavyweight Champion, 18 or 17, 17 time, one of the two. The WWE, you don't watch wrestling, but that was fun and leads us into Peacemaker season 2. Yeah. Speaking of that was fun. This is a horrible segue. Metamorpho,
Yep.
Metamorpho, Metamorpho made his live
Live
action
action.
debut. I don't know if he was in. I don't think he was in any other live action projects, but
Yeah.
he was in the Justice League series. He's in Brave and the Bold.
Yeah.
Um, Metamorpho. I think he didn't have that much to do. He was a plot device for Kryptonite, essentially. I don't know how Lex Luthor doesn't have any more Kryptonite. We'll get into Lex Luthor in a bit. But Metamorpho, I love the practical effects for him.
Yeah. Like I was surprised like it's like makeup practical instead of like CG.
CG. Did you know, Ralphie? Fun
Yeah.
fact: the actor Anthony Kerrigan trained to actually turn his hand into kryptonite. Ralph, that wasn't practical. I mean, that was practical. That was actual. He actually did that. That wasn't CG, baby.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm joking. Anthony Kerrigan, great actor, but
Yeah.
I don't think he could turn his hand into actual kryptonite.
Yeah. 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 But anyway though, also in fact the Superman robots also practical.
They are practical. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
they look so good.
Yeah.
Voiced by Mantis, Pom Klementov
Oh.
Mantis. She's one of the voices.
Yeah.
Alan Tudyk, and if I'm not mistaken, Bradley Cooper. And you want to go ahead and get into Bradley Cooper right now?
Yeah.
Okay,
As Joel.
as Jor-El. So now we're gonna get into one of my issues for the film, and easily you can make the argument, well, that's what he was going for. I get it. That's what James Gunn was going for. It's just for me, I wasn't a big fan of the decision, but whatever. I digress. Actually, no, I progress. Uh, him making Jor-El evil, not evil, but like he sent baby Clark, or Jor-El and Laura sent baby Clark to Earth and basically sends him a message that we love you, son, but we want you to go to Earth and take over. And they're weak people and be their lord and spread your seed amongst the human race to rebirth the Kryptonite people. I personally was not a fan of that. I get the reason why, and it does pay off to a degree at the end, which we'll get into later. Did it bother you, or did you really care at all about Jor-El being pseudo evil or whatever?
Yeah. Like okay. So first of all, I was like expecting from them going to that direction on screen,
Hmm.
and I could see why what James Gunn is trying to do. Since they want like Kal-El to like to be like somewhat an evil Superman on somewhat an evil Superman. And I kind of get what James Gunn is doing though, because he tried to lean for like to the like lighthearted Superman, because for the past like several years of the beginning, like
Darker
yeah,
Supermans,
Dark
yeah,
Superman.
yeah, and I agree with you. That's what I think. Jor-El, his intention is to sort of not, I guess, sort of like an evil Superman, but more so like the people are weak, which can be
Yeah,
considered like evil. I mean, not considered, it is evil. When you look down on another human race, another being as inferior to you, and you feel that you can rule them, that inherently makes you evil. And I'm holding out hope that it comes out that Lex Luthor lied about the message being corrupted. Lex Luthor, we'll get into him next. Um, but we shall see. The reason
yeah,
being is because, like we've seen in My Adventures of Superman, which you see behind me, such a great show. If you're looking for more Superman projects, there's a thousands week thousand. There's a lot, not thousands, but there's a lot you can look to. I think My Adventures is one of those projects. But we'll see what happens in the future. Lex Luthor. We haven't
yeah,
even mentioned Lex Luthor, and he is the main villain. The main villain is Lex Luthor, Ultraman, aka Future Bizarro, and the Engineer. Uh, what did you think of those characters? I wasn't like I didn't love the portrayal of some of those characters. Engineer, don't know much about her.
yeah. Same.
Ultraman, it's a very different take
Yeah,
compared, because the Ultraman we've seen is
like a multiverse.
it's a multiverse character. Even
Yeah,
he's been cloned and stuff, but it's always most likely a multiverse character.
yeah.
And then of course Lex Luthor, who is Superman's number one nemesis. How did you feel about the portrayals? It was fine or what?
Okay, so for the engineer though. So since I was not familiar with the character,
Hmm.
like I thought the engineer like portrayal like when it comes to like insane like narrow action sequence
Yeah.
were great.
Hmm.
Ultraman though, so and then what I remember in the comics he was like a multiverse variant, but this time it's not multiverse. It's like spoilers.
That's a, yeah. Spoiler. It's a clone.
Oh yeah, a clone.
Yeah.
And Lex Luthor though, my God, like this is like some like somebody like evil like Lex like we haven't seen.
Like hater.
Yeah,
He is a hater. And when it comes to Lex Luthor, I'll go ahead and go off of that or what you
yeah,
mentioned. Like the engineer, she had great nanotech technology. Her as an actual character, uh, she was okay. She was more like a plot device where I can shapeshift into anything. Okay, well, hack this computer. I can shapeshift into this. Okay, well, put nanobots in Superman's lungs. Whatever, you know. Um, she was like a MacGuffin to a degree. Ultraman wasn't my favorite. He was fine. Um, they didn't the cloning thing for me personally was so predictable. I don't think James Gunn was trying to pull a fast one off on you, especially if you know the comics to a degree or the character. But I hope eventually we do get Bizarro.
yeah,
That is, I want to see Bizarro because we've seen Bizarro in other iterations, but
yeah,
for a theatrical version, I love that. I hope that happens.
yeah.
And of course, Lex Luthor. So Nicholas Holt, great actor. I think he did a great job for what he was portraying. But it's not my favorite portrayal of Lex Luthor. I'm a big fan of the Clancy Brown iteration from the Justice League or from
Yeah,
the animated series and everything.
yep.
Because I think this Lex Luthor was a little whiny to a degree. He is a hater, which I want my Lex Luthor to be an absolute hater. That's my favorite when he hates Superman because that's who he is. And I think for me, one of my biggest issues in the movie, and I think hands down for me, the weakest part was Lex Luthor's group of people that worked under him. The people that pressed the buttons. 1A, D7, CL. You sank my ship. I'm making a joke. That's not that funny, but I just didn't care for them. Every time they were on screen and they had lines and they were like saying something to, I just cringed. It just they didn't work for me. Me personally, I honestly wish it could have just been Lex pulling the string, like him physically doing the stuff, and it could have just been Ultraman, Engineer, and the what's it called, that country, the Brorivi. I don't even know the name. I'm sorry, but yeah, I Otis was in it. Otis was good. I really liked Otis. Otis was the guy that was like, pull the lever, and he pulled the lever. But literally every time they were on screen, I just cringed. I was like, oh, I really don't care for these people. I really don't. I get it. People are gonna work under Lex Luthor, but I wish they could have done that differently. Um, did you have any issues with Lex Luthor? And if you didn't, that's awesome.
Yeah,
You
yeah. For me though, don't remember like what the issue with Lex Luthor,
okay? That's
but
fair.
but of course, in the scene that it was whenever like Lex Luthor killed a person on Fun Superman, like it's been a while since we last seen like an insane Lex.
And the same Lex Luthor. And I think
Yeah,
not to crap on Lex a whole bunch because, like I said, I do like certain elements of what he was doing.
yeah,
Nicholas Holt, like you said, when he kills the vendor, it makes you hate him even more
yeah,
because the vendor was just a normal guy who helped Superman one time, gave him some food. But Lex Luthor has so much hate in his heart that even if you've waved at Superman, you're an enemy to me, and that's so that's so evil. And that part of Lex Luthor was great. I just think maybe the whininess was a bit much at times, and the people that worked under him, I could really care less about them, me personally.
okay,
And there was a couple of more things. I think we'll go ahead and get into the third act,
yeah,
and then we'll go into that ending.
yeah,
The third act, the pocket dimension. Oh, we didn't go into the pocket dimension. It
yeah,
was fun. You know who we haven't even talked to? We're 24 minutes in. Crypto.
yeah. I was fixing about to bring it
Okay,
up.
okay. Actually, get into crypto. You have a few more minutes. Go ahead and get into
Okay,
crypto.
so crypto though, like this is like the first time we get like crypto in like a live action Superman film,
Hmm.
and it is great to and it and so, the scenes were funny when we see like crypto like of course as like like messing things up.
Yeah, he was being a bad dog.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and he even destroyed Mister Terrific, like
The
tech.
T spheres.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
And anything else you want to mention?
About crypto,
Yeah,
he's a bad dog. And I wouldn't be able to own him because he would jump on me and probably kill me on accident. All right, we'll get into more crypto a little later.
yeah,
Um, the third act, Lex opens up the pocket dimension. He's cutting the earth. He's dividing the earth in half. So Mr. Terrific and Superman, they gotta go and stop the rift from happening. And then on the other side of the world is a war between two countries. One country has way more weapons. The other one literally has sticks and stones. Um, and then the Justice Gang, Guy Gardner, Hawk Girl, and now Metamorpho, they go in and they help them, and that's what they do over there. Remember from the trailer, Superman,
yeah,
Superman. Which you know, but for people watching,
yeah,
oh yeah, you know what I mean. And then the third act was honestly just a big CG fight, to be honest with you.
yeah,
It was Ultraman versus Superman, and Lex pulling the strings. Superman and Crypto beat Ultraman, push him into a black hole.
yeah,
Bizarro, probably Bizarro world, I assume. Superman beats a bunch of raptors, which are like foot soldiers for Lex, beats them. And then Superman goes to Lex's tower, and lectures Lex. Lex lectures Lex, and Crypto beats the hell out of Lex. What did you think of like that speech or anything? You can go ahead
yeah.
and get into anything for the third act.
Okay, so for the speech though, like it's pretty. I I thought the speech part was good though because
Hmm.
like basically it's like Superman, like Superman vibe.
It really was,
Yeah,
yeah. Hmm.
apes, and I guess that's about it for me to
For
say.
you, okay.
Yeah,
I know there's one thing you really want to get into.
yeah,
All right, so that was the third act. Superman stops Lex. People love Superman again because Lex lied. No, he didn't lie, but Lex played the message from Jor-El. Whatever. You want to get into it?
yeah.
You want to say her name? Three, two, one.
Supergirl.
Yes. So we get our first look at Supergirl. You go ahead and,
Uh,
and and lead it.
okay, so we got some first look of what's her name again?
Supergirl.
Yeah, yeah, the actress name.
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Millie Alcott. We got a few more minutes.
Okay, so first look of Amelia cut a Supergirl suit, and the suit looks good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and of course she went to the Fortress of Solitude all drunk, picking up a crypto.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she was drunk, and Crypto, you could tell, was a bad dog,
yeah,
because Supergirl is not a good owner, but not a great owner.
yeah,
So all right, get more into Supergirl, how she was portrayed and stuff like that. Cause I know you really liked it. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so since because I have not read the comic book yet
Hmm.
of the Supergirl movie is gonna be based on,
Yeah.
but yeah, like even though I have nothing much about it, because I haven't read it yet. Hopefully soon I will read it, but
I have it right here behind me where all my books are at. I have Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, which is going to be the story they're going to adapt.
yeah,
Yeah. Did you know this is not Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow anymore? It's just Supergirl.
yeah,
I actually found that out recently. Um, so that was a Supergirl cameo. She looks like she's gonna be a lot more edgier than Superman because she has a different path that she took, or that not that she took on her own, that she was forced to take
yeah,
due circumstances. Um, and that's typically, I mean, not typically, that's essentially the ending. The last shots we get is Clark sort of in recovery at the Fortress of Solitude. We even talked about Ma and Paul Kent. There's so
yeah.
much going on in this movie. That's one of my negatives, but there was so much I forgot about them.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
We forgot to talk about the monster attack.
we'll get into the monster
Yeah,
attack. Well, we might have a fresh new right there,
yeah,
a fresh set of 30. Um, Ma and Paul Kent. He's the Superman robots play footage of him.
yeah,
Alma Punk Raka, Yes I Am is the ending song. The first time we watched it, I was invested in that particular scene. Second time, I shed a tear. Because essentially Superman feels hurt and betrayed because he thought he was put on this earth to do good, and Ma and Paul, or Paul basically shows him that your actions make you good, and we did our best to raise you, and that mom and pa are his real parent, which they are. They raised him since he was a baby.
Yeah,
Clark Kent is a human, even though physically he's Kryptonian. And then they showed footage of him when he was a baby with his parents, and then credits roll. We get two post-credit scenes. The first one is a mid-credit with Superman and Crypto sitting on the moon. It was the moon, right?
yeah,
Looking at Earth. Literally a quick 5-10 seconds, not even. Pretty much it. And then the post-credit scene at the very end was Superman and Mr. Terrific looking at a building that was crooked because, like I mentioned, Lex was tearing the a city in half, and when they got put back together, it was crooked. And Mr. Terrific's like, "What do you want me to do?" And that's pretty much it. Not that
yeah,
much. Not that much. Um, Overall thoughts, Ralphie?
yeah.
Things that you wish was in it more. Things that you feel like were your favorites or whatever, positive or negative if you have any.
Okay, so because for the podcast, since of course, since this is different than the usual podcasting that we've seen.
Yeah, it is. It
Yeah,
is
yeah, because what I have heard, they want to like for them like not to do like teasing all the projects.
MCU stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
heck, even the last DC universe did it, and only one of them came fruition, and most of them did not age well.
they didn't. Black Adam had the Henry Cavill one.
Yeah,
Shazam had the Justice League of America one, or Justice Society, one of the two.
yeah, and
Uh,
Justice League, Destroy.
Deathstroke, Deathstroke, Aquaman
Yeah,
2, or
what?
no, Flash.
Yeah,
Well, Flash led into Aquaman, but
yeah, and Aquaman too. Well, no post
there
credit
was no
scene.
post credit scene because that was the last DCEU
Yeah,
movie. Yeah, but essentially, I was I I was like, okay, it's contained. The MCU brain of me is like, they could have teased Lanterns, or they already teased Supergirl. They could
yeah,
have essentially just teased Lanterns, or they could have teased Peacemaker more. I don't know. If to you it worked, I'm not even arguing it. I'm just saying for me, the MCU brain wishes that they would have at least teased something else, but they didn't. It's not the end all be all. It's whatever. It's okay, whatever.
okay.
All right, some negatives that I had. Um, I do think the first watch, I struggled with the amount of story that was in it. I was able to follow it. I can get A to B to C to D and so on and so on. I wasn't confused at any point, so I guess that did its job in not confusing me. But with that being said, I do think that there was too much story packed into 2 hours, and that the pacing the first time I watched it, it felt off. It felt like we just yes, Superman can zoom and he can fly super fast, quite literally. But the story itself was zooming from plot to plot to plot, from string A, string B, boom, 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 boom. And it just felt like in those 2 hours, I was like, oh my God, I need a cigarette. Jesus. Second time, knowing what I was getting myself into, I was able to decompress it a little bit more. I was able to take it in and I understood it already, but like I was able to get stuff that I may have missed the first time. So that was one of my critiques. Even though it did get better the second viewing, the first viewing always matters most because a lot of these people who go to the theaters aren't going to watch it more than one time in theaters, or probably more than one time in their whole life. So I wish they in the editing room they could have pasted out things differently. But that's the cut that we got, and I'm fine with it. I'm not asking for a James Gunn cut. I'm not. I'm not. All right. I promise you. I wish there was more. I wish there was less, not more. No, more is you want more. No, I want less, a little less, not too much. Second, we didn't get enough of Perry White, Cat Grant, um, the other Daily Planet reporters. I wish there was more of that. Jimmy Olsen, he was fine. I laughed at the moments with him, but does he deserve his own spinoff show? Because that's the rumors. I would rather have a Daily Planet spinoff show so we can get all these characters together and not just Jimmy Olsen. But if they do a Jimmy Olsen show, I assume we'll get Daily Planet as well. But whatever. That's not the point. I do want a Mr. Terrific show, and that's been rumored by James Gunn, and I hope this comes true. Um, and any other nitpicks that I have, the pacing, and I felt like the story was too much, especially the first watch. It got better the second time, but I still felt it. The third, Lex Luthor himself, I thought Nicholas Holt was was great with what he was portraying, but it wasn't my favorite iteration of the character. He was evil, which is the best part of that character. And for his lackeys, the people that worked under him, I could care less about. You, Ralphie, I don't think you really had any negatives, and if you did, you
Yeah.
mean you could name it right now. If you didn't, that's awesome. I want people to enjoy this movie.
Okay, so first issue they have though is, well, yeah, I'll admit though, a lot of stuff was happening. For example, like when I was watching, like, okay, no problem, and then later on, when I was asked like, okay, what is the favorite moment happened in the movie? Like, let me think. Trying to think of like, oh dang, oh dang, there's indeed a lot of stuff happened all at once.
There's a lot of stuff. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree with you.
Yeah,
Anything else?
that's right, that's
That's
right.
about it. Okay. Before we wrap up, another not even a nitpick, another negative for me was the Jor-El aspect of that movie. I do hope they change that. Selfishly, I hope they change it. If James Gunn decides to keep it and they don't really explore more of his Kryptonian side positively, then I guess that's whatever we get, whatever is presented to us is presented to us. I'm just not a fan of that decision. Well, it was done in the comics. Okay, well, this is the live action version. If that's the decision he made, if that's the final decision with that character, then okay, so be it. Um, but you want to go ahead and give our scores, Ralph?
Can I give this movie an 8?
I am going to give it an 8 as well. Um, when we left the theater for the first time, we had a YouTube short. In that YouTube
Yeah,
short, I gave it an 8. I'd lean to a 7.5. The next day, I was like, I think it may be a 7.5, close to a 7, not necessarily a 7. I love the DCU stuff, but I just think at times it was too much. Rewatching it the second time, it's an 8 for me. It's a solid 8. It's not gonna go any lower. I don't think it'll go any higher. In terms of rewatchability, um, it was rewatchable the second time as well. Will I rewatch it again? Of course. Will I rewatch it 1,000 times like other movies, like for The Suicide Squad for me, or like Dark Knight? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. It has to grow on me a little more. But I believe in my score an 8. People were giving it 1,000 out of 10, and that's how they felt. That's great. At the end of the day, I want this movie to do good, and I think it did. It did great when it came to building the DC universe. And as a movie, I think it struggled a lot in pacing and story at times, and that some of the portrayals weren't my favorite. But with that being said, second time around, I enjoyed it a lot more, and it's an 8, and I'm happy with my score. You gave it an 8 as well, Ralph?
yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome. I um, it's an awesome movie. I think it's a must watch in theaters. You have to go watch it. Even if you only watch it once and you're gonna wait for it to be on streaming in a few months or tomorrow because of how everything works nowadays. Just kidding. I wish it's in theaters. I hope it's in theaters a long time. Go watch this and watch it more than once. Maybe you're like me. You watch it once, you're like, oh, that was a lot. Woo, that was a lot to take in. And then you watch it the second time, you could like, okay, that it's a lot better for me. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all we have. I am happy that we did this review because I've done so many Superman videos the last 3 years.
yeah,
We've done so many DCU videos. Um, and for us to finally be giving our spoiler review about a movie we've been looking forward to for years. I don't have my shirt. My shirt's it's in the dirty clothes. I gotta wash it. I'm happy about that. So yeah, guys, the next DC project we have is Peacemaker, and then Lanterns early next year,
Supergirl,
Supergirl,
Clayface,
Clayface, and then after that, the Batman, but that's still 2027.
yeah,
But when it comes to DCU canon, like the main, the sacred timeline to take the MCU's to
Gods and Monsters,
Gods and Monsters, I don't think we know exactly is in
yeah,
the works. We know what's in the works, but we don't know what's next.
yeah, like yeah, yeah, like when it comes to like it's in production and
Production. They're actually going to start filming.
yeah,
We don't know. Of course, with Wonder Woman's in the works, Batman is in the works. I don't know what's going on with the Authority.
oh, Booster Gold,
Booster Gold. Yeah, literally Booster. Thank you. I was about to say Booster Gold. I think they have a casting, but I don't know when they're going to do that.
yeah,
Um, Sergeant Rock, I think from the last we heard, production stopped because they didn't like the script or it was a mess. I don't know, whatever it was. But apparently that's on the back burner. There's just so much going on. I want them to do solo projects. The next movie, I don't want to see a Justice League movie next, which I don't think it won't be. I know after these projects that are already in the can.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, guys, that is our review for Superman. I can't believe I just said that. I can't
Yep.
believe I just said that. All
Boom.
right, guys, as always, please
Like,
like, share,
share,
and
and
subscribe.
subscribe.
As always, guys, I'm Chris.
And well,
Catch y'all next time.
peace.
Peace.